So thank you. Let's have the next person.
Um, Good day, everyone. My name is Samson Zungwe. Okay, first of all, I want to start by saying I'm really happy about the fact that Mr. Sowore identified that the biggest resource we have in this country is its youth. Um, for me, if you ask me, I'll tell you that the two biggest problems we have in this country is one, poverty, and two, insecurity. I want to ask, sir, do you think that there's a nexus between food security and national security? And if you become president of this country, what would be your collective national security strategy? I think I'll keep it at that. Thank you.
Thank you. So, and this was what I was saying earlier. The idea of security to a lot of Nigerians is reduced to one thing alone: physical security. And for them, physical security is to be able to sleep at night, their gates firmly closed. But Nigerians don't even know that you don't need to have a wall for you to go to sleep. But as a result, they have reduced security to just policing, which is just a minute aspect of security. My whole security strategy doesn't even come with national security, because that's also an abused word for a country where the leaders will claim that for the sake of national security, we must kill the rest of you. That's us. Our own is social and economic security first and foremost. What is it? That you get what you deserve. Do you know those Maslow hierarchy of needs? Anybody remember them? Yes, they thought the moment you have those things, you have food, you have shelter, you have healthcare, you have electricity. And by the way, Maslow was not here to also include data for internet. That has now become number one hierarchy of needs. If you don't have that, you can't breathe these days. If you have all those things, do you know that police will not have work to do? You will not need walls around your house, except, all those walls that are just for fancy. Would you let us make your house look small demarcation? But without addressing those things, we are not talking about security yet. The security of, army captured Boko Haram leader today, and they cannot find Toji when they are on the phone with Toji every minute. Because if Toji is out of business, the army will also be out of business. Because that's how they make their huge security bonuses, or that's how they steal money through security fees, or what do they call that? Security votes in the country. So that must be understood, that my own idea of security has several components. So when you have all this figured out, when the needs of the people are met in the area of food, education, healthcare, electricity, employment, the rest will be easier. You may not even need to arm the police. In Switzerland, their police is not armed. In fact, in the UK, police rarely carry arms. Do you know why? Because people are largely secure in the areas of need. But our own idea of security in Nigeria is AK-47. Can it secure you? And you can have 20 soldiers to a person in Nigeria. If you don't address the other issues, they can never solve their problem. That was a lesson that China learned in changing their country, that the strongest military in the world cannot prevent an uprising. Because in 1989, there was an uprising carried out by students in China. So since then, their leaders started to move away from strong arm tactics to start developing their country. And now, almost everybody in China, not all, not let me say something that's foolish on air, but it is largely the economic fortune has changed. The same thing is happening in all the advanced countries. Why is India doing very well today? It's because of the same thing. They're providing jobs. Indians are receiving expats who are their former citizens that left to the US. They're coming back. Their doctors are coming back. Their tech experts are coming back. The agriculturists are coming back because they created the environment for it. So even Americans now prefer to go to India to go and do surgery than to do in their country because they have some of the most useless and expensive healthcare system in the world. That's America. Why? Because Indian leaders created the enabling environment. And it goes back to your question or our conversation about the brain. I don't know that India is associated with any mineral resource or oil. No. Their wealth is coming from here. And that's the same thing we must do for Nigeria. But you cannot have people who are brainless leading brilliant people and expect progress. Because it's as good as you go and buy a nice car. Are you getting my point? You put bulletproof tires. You even put tires that are spinning, like those rappers. And it has no engine. Where are you going with it? That's where Nigeria is, though.
Thank you so much. Very clear. So that's all for the questions for today. Okay, please let's take the question.
Yeah, thank you, Your Excellency. Good afternoon. I don't like to be called Excellency because she's a name for all these TGs.
My name is Dr. George Edwanisikle, an activist from Bayelsa State, with us, your homogeneous states. I'm happy to hear from you that you are a Joma.
I'm hybrid. I'm a little bit of everything.
Yeah, so when we talk about revolution as an activist, I think I want to also key to all that we have inspiration. Very good, lofty ideas, a movement and all of that. Is it like Bayelsa states, our states, who have been suffering a lot from these butchers, must say, I call them butchers because we are being in a slave environment where only some top persons, hijack the state's resources into their. So, for example, in 2019, David Leon and that of Doyetiri, there was a revolution, clear revolution, to say we have to keep PDP government. But in the end, just 3 hours to immigration, you have to upturn the institute to those same cycling of bad leaders. And so a few days ago, I decided to bring up my own ambition to become the governor of Bayelsa State COP 2027. And I saw the traffic, people, giving me accolades, supporting me from behind, even those from the government. So I think I really also want to key into your revolution, and I want to say Bayelsas are in their need of a serious revolution, though they will not come out to the open. But for the body language I've said, I think they have a revolution. I think we have to key in their revolution. And so I want to also admonish you not to leave us behind, because even you are coming at the center to also carry us from the Bayelsa states along, so that we'll do this thing together to see how we can actualize it. Thank
you very much. You didn't ask much of a question. You made some very interesting statements. What did I want to say to you is that it is one of the very absolute contradiction that I say in life. The job people are warriors in real life. So you imagine how Ijaws are governed by idiots, and they can't do anything about it. But the Ijaws used to go and fight for other people. This is something I grew up to know. Do you know that the Ijaws are so sensitive that the reason they don't eat snail is because an Ijaw man felt that his wife sneered at him at him from the back of a canoe and killed the woman. He has 2 wives. Second one, he thought it was somebody hissing at him for killing the first one. He kills the one. This might be folklore, but that's how they describe the anger of the Ijaw person. Only to discover that it was a snail that was hissing. But it was too late. That's why Ijaw people don't eat snail. But how did it become that with all the issues in Ijaw, that it's only foolish people that are running Ijaw states, ISR of all places, with all the wealth, all the aggressive people there, you now have a governor that doesn't even know his left from his right. I saw him one day at when we were campaigning in 2023 in Ibadan. He saw me. He couldn't look at my face because I think Sahara had been beating him with Koboko, because of his lackluster performance. But the reason I mentioned this is also that the revolution we're asking for, and I'm glad you spoke up, is for everybody. What has not happened that is delaying the revolution, I will say again, and that would be a closing remark, is because enough people has not come out, have not caught the consciousness. And it's as simple as that. All this preaching we are saying here is not necessary. If by tomorrow all of us are ready, we will change this country. The people that you used to respect will be the ones respecting you. Yes, the houses that you used to pass, that you think you can never live in, you will be the tenant or the owner there because it belongs to you. And that is how countries are governed. The school that you thought your children can never attend, they will be going to that school. The hospital that you thought you can never enter, you will be in it. The vehicle that you think you can never drive, it will be driving you, because very soon we'll have driverless cars. And Nigeria is going to be left behind because we have missed so many boats. But we just need you. I'm pleading with you. It's not politics. It's not about Sowore becoming president. We just need you to have a little bit of consciousness. So just apply a little bit more than the 10% function of your brain. Make it 11%. Anybody that is taking you for granted, confront the person. Organize yourselves. In every ward, every local government, every state, every senatorial district, every federal constituency, let there be a person who is standing up to the oppressor. And then let us all network through social media and sometimes on social networks too. Because before social media, people were organizing in the world, right? So, and before you know it, even before we strike, all these cowards, they will run away. We may not even have to lift a finger before all of them will just say, look, we are not doing. You just see people before who are planning to run for election, they will say they are not running for election anymore. They are not doing the election anymore because they have seen the handwriting on the wall. But right now, the handwriting is there, but it's not on the wall. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much, sir. A round of applause for